A friend of mine asked me whether we could discuss his latest dating experience on this channel. So the guy is based in Vietnam, Saigon, Vietnam to be exact, and he had a dating experience and he wanted to get our opinion, our thoughts, our input, because we've been doing more videos on dating on this channel, and he thought it would be a great idea to see what you guys have to say, what the community has to say. So shall we get started? It says, hey man, I met this hot, tall Vietnamese girl on Tinder and asked her to go out on a date with me. She agreed. Great. As soon as we met in person, she pointed out how short I am. I'm 5'7". She is 5'5". I told her my height is displayed on my Tinder profile. She replied, I didn't think you were this short. Okay. We went to eat at a fancy Vietnamese restaurant she recommended. I paid for everything, including drinks. She did not come to my place that night. I wish I'd never asked her to go out on a date with me, but at least I learned a lesson that night. First of all, what I wanted to point out here is that this guy is looking to date short term. He's not looking into long-term dating. I think it's important that we make this clear because, you know, we got to set the right expectations to form the right answer. And because he's dating for the short term, he expected that taking that girl out on a date, you know, buying her food and drinks would actually be enough to get her laid. The truth is, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, because no matter how good you treat them, no matter what you buy them, they're just not going to sleep with you on the first date. They just don't. For whatever reason, you know, they don't feel enough synergy yet. Maybe they're not into you, maybe they're not attracted to you. Even though you bought them all this stuff, doesn't mean you're going to get them in bed right away. That's just not what it means. And for short-term dating, because that girl pointed out that he's only 5'7" and she's 5'5", which is actually very tall for a Vietnamese woman, very tall. But 5'7" isn't that short either. Yeah, it's a little bit shorter than average maybe, but what's important here for short-term dating, what women really want, is looks and game. And we have looked at a recent study done by the Power Moves, and the study talked about how looks and game is just more important than anything for a woman looking to get laid with a guy. So the woman actually wants a guy who's good looking. She wants a good looking guy. She wants a guy who brings some game with him, right? So if you're good looking, and whatever that means, you know, you might be a good looking guy, but you're not good looking in her eyes because you're too short. So even if physically you're actually very attractive, you know, to somebody, you may not be attractive to her. You're not attractive in her eyes, and there's nothing you can do about that. We have different things that we value, and there's nothing you can do about that. You cannot change my value system. I cannot change yours. Yeah, 35% is pretty much the looks. You know, now we're talking about the study, right? 35% looks and 30% game. Now, game means whether you're able to turn her on, whether you're able to be funny, you know, whether you're able to create good synergy, you know, reciprocity, if you will. Now, if you're able to do that, that's 65%. Your looks and your game, 65%. Age doesn't matter that much. Personality doesn't matter that much. Resources doesn't matter that much because you're just looking to get laid, right? And that's what a woman wants. And from what we also know from that study that I pointed out from thepowermoves.com is that for a guy, the only thing that really matters is looks. You know, if the woman's good looking, we want to spread the seats, you know, we want to get laid. But if the woman's not good looking, then maybe she's not ideal for casual dating, you know, for one night stand, because we're not attracted to her. Looks matter more than anything for guys. The question is, what could he have done differently? At the end of the day, if you're a guy and you're into casual dating, some nights you have success and some nights you don't. It doesn't mean just because you are dating casually all the time, you're going to have success every single time. No, that's not what it means. It's mathematics. It's a numbers game. Maybe 5 out of 10 will sleep with you. Maybe 7 out of 10. You know, it's mathematics. You know, sometimes you have maybe 7 out of 10. Sometimes you only have 2 or 3 out of 10. I don't know what exactly your success ratio is, what your conversion rate is. I don't know that number. It will not be 100%. It's not 100% for anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. Some girls, they don't feel comfortable. They need a little bit more time. Sometimes they are not turned on by you. Sometimes they're on their period and they feel ashamed. Whatever it may be, they just don't want to get laid right now. It's just how it is, you know? And there's not much you can do about it. If you're already at your best possible performance and you followed everything, if you know your game, if you know your strategy, then there's not much you can do. Yeah, you want to pay the bills, of course, you want to do that, you want to smell good, you want to look good. Like, if you want to have success at casual dating, you want to be at your best at that moment. That's all you can do. That's all you can control. You cannot control the response from the other person. Whether she's in a bad mood, whether she's on her period, whether she's not into you because, your photos, you look a lot better on your photos than you look when you actually meet the person. There's nothing you can do about that, right? There's nothing you can do about that. So you did the best you could. Dating on Tinder, because he pointed it out, dating on Tinder is usually mostly about the photos. It's about your physical appearance. That's all they get to see. They don't get to see your facial expression. They don't get to talk to you right away. They don't get to see you in person. So your personality, your game doesn't matter as much online. I mean, after a certain point, of course, it does matter, but the first impression is just the photos. So if you want to have great success on dating apps like Tinder, what you want to do is you want to spend more time creating good photos, using Photoshop if need be, just going to a professional photographer and having some nice photos done could already help a lot, right? So you gotta invest a little bit of money. Of course, you need to have a good profile description, a good bio, right? You can do that. It's not a whole lot of time, it's not a whole lot of money that goes into that, but doing these things will make a big difference. Something you also have to understand is that women that are into casual dating, like 80% of them, they're looking to sleep with 20% of the guys. Maybe it's even more extreme. I've taken a look at Tinder studies and they are crazy. Usually a woman swipes right between 1 to 5% of the time. So that means 95% to 99% of the guys, they don't exist for whatever reason. She's not physically attracted to them. And because she has such a wide variety of people to choose from, she doesn't need to choose you because she knows, okay, I'm going to swipe left, doesn't matter. There is another person that's equally good looking or better looking, so I can choose. But it doesn't mean that the other person is a better person than you. It's just how the online game works. It's all about physical appearance. It's all about presentation. If you have a good presentation, then you will have more success dating online. But again, it doesn't mean just because you have good photos, you have a good bio, you will have great success getting laid. That depends on you then, because then once you meet in person, all the online stuff is out the door. Now it's about your performance physically, in person, face to face. What's your performance like? Do you have a good personality? Do you have a charming personality? Do you have good game? And how about your looks? If you lied about who you are, if you uploaded photos of a different guy, then you're in trouble, right? So you cannot think that, okay, just because, I have a good conversion rate online to offline date conversion rate, that doesn't mean you actually will have success in the bedroom. That all depends on you, on your other skills, whether you have them or not. What do you think about this guy's dating experience? Do you think he did well? Do you think there's something he could have done differently? What are your thoughts? Leave a comment below and let us know. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm uploading new videos on digital nomad locations, travel updates, and investment advice several times a week right now. And if you got some more time left, check out these videos.